Welcome to this Jeremy Bamber on White House Farm Season 4 podcast. My name is Simon Kelly and I work on the social media arm of the Jeremy Bamber Innocence Campaign. I wanted to tell you my story of how I got involved in Jeremy's case and why I believe Jeremy is innocent. I would also like to highlight some of the evidence that convinced me of his innocence and why Jeremy's continued incarceration poses a threat to us all. My mum has always watched true crime documentaries, and we would like to watch these together as I was growing up. So naturally, as I got older and moved out of the family home, I continued to enjoy watching them. One of my favourite shows was the Crimes That Shook Britain series. One Saturday night in 2017, I found myself home alone. Flicking through the Sky channels, I happened to see that Crimes That Shook Britain was about to start. The episode simply titled Jeremy Bamber. Born in 1984, I was only one at the time of the White House Farm tragedies, so I had no prior knowledge of the case at all. I had seen many episodes of the Crimes That Shook Britain series, but this episode was different. They had spent the last 20 minutes of the episode casting doubt on every plank of the prosecution case against Jeremy. I was amazed. The evidence they were using to demonstrate Jeremy's innocence hadn't come from some unofficial source, but from the case files written during the investigation into the shootings, many written by Essex police officers as the tragedies were unfolding. As I sat there trying to digest what I had just seen, I started to Google Jeremy's name and looked at the campaign website. I did this for a couple of days, but as time went on, Jeremy faded from my mind. Thoughts about the shootings at White House Farm came back to the front of my mind when I saw an advert for a drama about the tragedies, soon to be aired on ITV. As I turned and looked at my wife, Natalie, I said this should be a good watch, as many people think he is innocent. I was taken aback to see that all the evidence casting doubt on Jeremy's innocence was simply ignored, and all we had was a poorly researched, poorly acted script of the police case against Jeremy. In hindsight, the drama was never going to be any different. I was just being naive at the time. As I began to study Jeremy's case, I would have my eyes firmly open to the criminal justice system in the United Kingdom. Having now seen two programmes that were incompatible with one another, one laying out the evidence of Jeremy's innocence, and one portraying him as a money-hungry man who had killed his entire family for the inheritance, I decided to start researching the case. My interest had been well and truly sparked. I started by researching both sides of the argument. A quick internet search leads you to websites that believe Jeremy to be guilty. I was looking for evidence of his guilt, something that the Crimes That Shook Britain episode had not revealed. As I read, it became clear that there was no clear or direct evidence implicating Jeremy in the shootings. No forensic evidence had been found at the scene. Nobody had seen Jeremy travelling to and from the farm on the night of the tragedies. All the evidence used to obtain Jeremy's conviction had come from people who had a personal stake in his conviction. A silencer found in the gun cupboard days after the shootings by the relatives and Julie Mugford's testimony. Mugford had waited a month before going to the police to implicate Jeremy in the shootings. In fact, it was only when Jeremy ended their relationship that she decided to implicate him. Mugford had also implicated a hitman in the shootings, and this story was found to be totally false. She was paid £25,000 from a national newspaper, payable only on a guilty verdict. To me, this was all highly suspicious. I listened to podcasts about the case. Many were individuals rehashing the police case, and they had not considered any of the fresh evidence in the case. I spent every waking moment I had researching Jeremy's case. There were glaring inconsistencies in the case, and I found myself asking more and more questions. Why were Essex police still holding masses of evidence? Why did special branch officers destroy forensic evidence, contrary to court orders? Why did vital evidence change after DSI Michael Ainsley took over the case? After Jeremy's conviction, Ainsley went on to work for the relatives, the same relatives who had inherited the Bamber estate. Ainsley was working at the caravan site that was part owned by Jeremy. The case made no sense at all. It all looked fabricated and a set of events established to create an impression that Jeremy was the culprit. The window evidence being a prime example of this. Statements were given by Essex police officers that no signs of entry or exit marks were found on the windows. Yet weeks later, Essex police were claiming scratch damage to the window had occurred, totally disregarding many statements written by their own officers. The case had all the hallmarks of a setup. After months of research, I had concluded that Jeremy was innocent of the shootings, and Jeremy was the victim of a huge miscarriage of justice. It was obvious Jeremy's conviction was only obtained because Essex Police and the Crown had not disclosed all the evidence at his trial or his 2002 appeal. I started to look at documents written by Essex police officers and forensic scientists. Scene logs, phone logs, witness statements, lab reports. All showed that the case presented at Jeremy's 1986 trial could not be truthful. When I discovered there was a 999 call made from inside the farmhouse whilst Jeremy was outside with police officers, I could not believe Jeremy was still in prison. I decided to write to Jeremy and offer my support to him. A week later I received a reply. Jeremy came across as pleasant and articulate. I have written to him now for almost 5 years. I have asked him many questions about his case, and he has always answered them directly. The man portrayed in the media is not the man I have corresponded with for almost 5 years. He is warm and caring, vastly different from the psychopathic, money-hungry monster the media would have you believe he is. He is intellectual and knows vast amounts about intricate subjects such as the cosmos. Many forget Jeremy is a human being, a man wrongly convicted for nearly 40 years. A man still maintaining his innocence almost 4 decades on. His strength to continue the fight every day must be applauded and shows a huge amount of determination and heart. I do want to make one thing clear. I do not think Jeremy Bamber is innocent because he says he is. I believe he is innocent because the case documents show us he is innocent. In January 2023, I was asked to join the campaign team and take over the official X account. I was delighted to help Jeremy in any way I could. I wanted to spread the word of Jeremy's innocence, and this seemed a good and effective way to do this. It has been great thinking of tweets and using some of my knowledge to get the message out there. I have learned so much from other members of the campaign team, some of whom have been doing this for years. The New Yorker article released in July last year has brought Jeremy's case back into the spotlight. The evidence contained within it proved Jeremy Bamber is innocent. PC Milbank admitting he took a 999 call from inside the farmhouse while Jeremy was outside with police officers is Jeremy's cast iron alibi. The interview with DS Neil Davidson, stating that D.I. Ron Cook had tampered with the crime scene before the crime scene photographs had been taken, shows the jury were not presented with an accurate picture of the crime scene. Neither were the appeal court judges in Jeremy's 2002 appeal. People ask me why I support Jeremy. The answer is obvious to me. Not only is it unacceptable that Jeremy is still in prison, but the injustice faced by Jeremy could happen to any of us. If the authorities can hide evidence, destroy evidence, mislead juries and judges about the evidence in Jeremy's case, then they can do the same thing in a case against any of us. It is of the utmost importance that we hold the criminal justice system accountable. Radical change will only be obtained by cases such as Jeremy's being overturned. I would implore anyone to research Jeremy's case, even if you are confident you know everything there is to know about the shootings at White House Farm. Due to the 347,000 documents released to Jeremy's team in 2011, the truth has now been revealed. The evidence of Jeremy's innocence is overwhelming. Essex Police know it, the Crown Prosecution Service know it, and the Criminal Cases Review Commission know it. It is time for the Criminal Cases Review Commission to act and refer Jeremy's case back to the Court of Appeal. Hopefully Helen Pitcher's resignation as the chair of the Criminal Cases Review Commission will aid Jeremy's case, and the Court of Appeal will soon have the chance to close the book on one of the United Kingdom's most abhorrent miscarriages of justice cases. The truth always comes out in the end. Stay strong, Jeremy. Your time is coming, my friend.
If you'd like to join our mailing list for the latest updates on the case as they happen, please email us via our website www.jeremy-bamber.co.uk.